Hello people, this is Self-Tuts and let's learn that how we can create a chatbot using Node.js and ChatGPT. So let's understand what we'll be learning in this video. So there is a Node.js script that we will be writing, or you can say Node.js application that will basically talk to the ChatGPT server. So we'll create a connection between our Node.js application and the ChatGPT server, and we will use the OpenAI library. So OpenAI provides library in different languages. So we'll be using the npm module, and through that npm module we'll be basically connecting to the ChatGPT server, and for that we'll need a OpenAPI key. So basically this ChatGPT server can be accessed by any developer using their APIs, and we need a OpenAPI key, or you can say that this is the key that is used to basically connect between your applications and the ChatGPT server. First thing is what we need to create the API key in the OpenAPI platform. So for that we need to open the website platform openai.com. After that we need to use the OpenAI npm module, and this is the OpenAI npm module, and we'll basically use it to call some of the methods that has been exposed on this npm module, and basically we'll be giving some prompt, we'll be asking some questions to our ChatGPT server, and it will give you response in your command line tool. So let's see how we can create it. So the first step is creating this key, and for that we'll be opening the website platform.openai.com, and there we'll go and create our key. Let's go to the website and we'll type platform.openai.com, and here you will be asked to do a login. So I'll be using my Google authentication, and I will use my account, that is selftuts@gmail.com, and basically using it. Now I am inside this platform openai.com website. So here if you see, there is something called as API references. So you can see that these are the different APIs which can be used. If I go to my account here you can see this is view API keys. So I have already created some of the API keys, like this one which was created on March 20 and then on March 24. So this is visible only for one time. So once you create a new secret, what happens, that text is visible, but after that you will not be able to see it. If you are creating a new API key, or if you want to create a new API key, you need to click on this one, create new secret key. That will give you a long text, and that you need not to show anyone, otherwise your account can be hacked. So basically you need to click on this button, create new secret key, and it will give you a new API key which you can use. So this is the process how we create the API keys. Now the second thing is what you need to use the OpenAI npm module. Let's go to the browser again and search for OpenAI npm, and here is the OpenAI npm module. So if you see here, what does it say? It says the OpenAPI NodeJS library provide convenient access to the OpenAPI from Node.js application. So you can use this library, you can use npm install OpenAI, and this is basically a sample code that has been written here, and this can be used to connect to the ChatGPT server and basically get some response. So let us create a new project in our WebStorm, and after that we'll be creating this particular code and connect to the ChatGPT server. I'll open my WebStorm, and here if you see, I can create a new project. So let's create a new project here. I'll click on this new project, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a Node.js project, and I will choose my directory in this path which is here. I'll be using the WSL which is installed on this Windows system, and here I'll go to home, and then finally I'll go to workspace. Here I have created a Node.js folder, and here I'll be creating a new directory, and the new directory will be what? Chatbot using Node.js and ChatGPT. So I'll hit enter, and this is the project folder that I'll be using. I'll click OK, and this is the node interpreter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my WSL interpreter. So it is present here. So this configuration is entirely based on your IDE. Since I'm using the WSL and Windows, that's why I need to do this Node.js configuration. So if you see, I'm using the version 12.22 of Node.js, and finally I'll click on create, and this will open the application. So let it come here. I'll make it bigger, and finally this is the project files which you can see. So this is the terminal here and this is the package.json file. So the first thing that we are going to install is the OpenAI module. So I'll say npm install OpenAI --save. So when I use this command --save, it will basically add the library into my package.json file. So if you see, that library has come here, OpenAI 3.2.1. The second node module that I'll be using will be .env. So this .env is needed because we'll use this particular library to load our configurations which will be injected in the environment variable of our application. So these are the two libraries that we are using. Let's go and create a new index.js file. So I'll come here, I'll create an index.js file. So the sample code to connect to the OpenAI server or the ChatGPT server is given here. So we can do a copy paste from here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to just paste it. So I'll do a Control V or the shortcut that basically you are using, so you can just copy and paste it here. So what is the first line doing? It is basically requiring the OpenAI module, and it is using the configuration object and the OpenAI API. Then this is the configuration object, and what we need to do, we need to provide the API key which we have created in our previous step. So it is reading from this process.environment.open API variable, and we need to load our environment variable. That can be done how? We need to use the command require and then .env, and then we need to use config. So this is the process by which you can load the .environment file, and what we need to do is we need to create our .environment file. So I'll go here, new file, and what we are going to say, we are going to use .env as the file name. Configuration key that we are using is this one. So I'll just copy it, come here, I'll do a paste, and I will paste my own API key. So I'll be inserting my API key here. You need to insert your own API key that you created in the last step. This is the configuration object, and finally in the new Open API object or class, you can say, we are passing this configuration object, and this is returning you a instance of the OpenAI API library. So now you can call these methods. So if we see more methods, so we can say OpenAI dot, and you can see these are the different methods that are available here. So one of the method is createcompletion, which basically talks to the OpenAI server and basically processes the prompt that you provide and returns you the response. So let's delete this one, and this createcompletion method takes some of the object. The first is the model. So as you know that all the artificial intelligence things are modeled based on some data. So this is the name given to that model, and there are multiple models that are available, but we'll be using this text DaVinci 003. So in artificial intelligence field, the more data you provide to the modeling tool, the more better result you get. So this is one of the model. There can be n number of model which you can use. So different company creates their own model. They use supercomputer to read data, read millions of book, or you can say all the available articles which are present on the internet, and they create their model. So this is like text DaVinci 003 is the model. Next is what? Next is the prompt. So prompt, we can say that it will be in the text format. Prompt is like what you are asking to the artificial intelligence server. So it is a prompt, like you will be asking it in the text format, and finally you will be getting response in the text format. The third part is the max tokens. So max tokens is used for getting the length, means how much length your response will be. So if it is of less token you are providing, then you will not get the full response. So don't go into the depth of these things. Let's understand how basically we can connect and get the response. So for the max tokens, what we can use 3000 or any value whatever you want. So I am giving you 3000 as the value, and then finally this is completion dot data dot choices 0 dot text. So if you print the completion text or the completion variable, so you will get a response which will contain completion and then data and then choices. We'll see the response, will print the whole completion part and then finally the text. So this is the code that we copied from our npm module, but we want to create a method out of it. So what I'll do, I'll say async and then function, and the name of the function will be call ChatGPT, and then this will take some text. Okay, so we'll provide some text here. Inside the call GPT method, we'll do try and catch. So basically we are doing this try and catch. Why? let's say we call the ChatGPT server and there is some exception. So we need to write that exception so that we can see the error and then fix the issues. We can just console and then log the exception, and finally here what we are going to do, we are going to move this part. Okay, so let's move this whole part. So I will cut it from here and then I'll move it here. Now what we can do, we can just call this method. So we can say call GPT and we can say what is Redis. Let's say this is the question that we want to ask. Let us see the code again. So everything is fine. Okay, so we need to provide this as text and this also as a integer. So this should not be a text. So our code is completed. Let's call or let's run this file. So it says node index.js and let's see what is the output. So it is saying what is Redis. Okay, and this is giving us the answer. Redis is an open source in-memory data structure stored. So this is a very beautiful example that you have created your own Node.js file. You don't need to go to the ChatGPT website and basically call or give some prompt and it will give you the response. Let's change it. So let's say when India got independence. Okay, let's see what is the output in this one. So I'll again run the file node index.js. And it is saying India gained independence from British rule on August 15, 1947. The date is now celebrated as India's Independence Day. So this is a perfect, or this is the correct answer that has been given by ChatGPT. So you can see, like, we have used this OpenAI library, and based on the configuration key or the OpenAPI key that we have provided, and then calling the create completion thing using the different models. We are using text DaVinci 003 model, and we are giving some text and it is giving you the response. So you can create better examples, like you can accept these texts from the command line itself and then call the ChatGPT server. So you can improve this code more, whatever you want. So this is how basically we use the OpenAI library and connect it to the ChatGPT server to get the response. So hope you like this video, hope you like my channel. Please subscribe my channel and please share these videos with other people. Thank you.